All right, so for this video, we're talking about kind of the biology behind vision. So, the first type of biological representation is we have some sort of stimuli. The guy described it as a perturbation. So, we put on the skin. This causes an action potential within the mechanoreceptor. So, what does that mean? That means that it's a neuron in that it directly innervates to the central nervous system. Okay, so we have a stimulus, and then we have this afferent connection. Okay, so I think that if I was encountering a test examination question that said, this guy got this type of sensation, and it led to the central nervous system. Um, this led to an afferent, right? So that's okay, so efferent, again, this guy, the key distinction, right? Before, we would usually think efferent means like central nervous system to stimulus, but in the context of a psychology exam, we have to understand that it's a response to a stimulus. So, let's say I see a tree and I'm gonna have some sort of response to it. That's an efferent response. If I touch this, right, that's an afferent. Something is I'm getting information from it, and then that top-minded mindset. So it's again, those distinctions between the connections between videos, and then also understanding, hey, this is exactly what we need to know for the MCAT. It's important to reinforce that if that is the type of mistakes that you're making. Right? So sensation is only afferent. Okay, so two main types of fibers when we're dealing with sensation. We have a beta and a delta. So nociception, temperature, those are two different things. Okay, so the structure of these mechanoreceptors, right, determines their function. Okay, so a beta fiber, mechano. All right, so structure determines the function, right, and then the function itself determines the location. So if I had a question that says, "Oh, where is mechanoreceptors located?" Um, Food for thought. You can work your way back, and you can say, "Oh, okay. Well, I know that what its function is. I know what its structure is, um, or I know what its structure is. Its function is to do this. Okay, this function determines its location. I just figured out because of its structure where its location is." So just to kind of recap what he's saying, basically you're getting some kind of innervation, and then this causes a laminar disc, and a laminar disc is a type of epithelial cell, and you can associate all of this with Jenga. Jenga is kind of like where you take blocks out, because you move one and one stays. Okay. So movement or kind of a shift in cell topography causes some sort of action potential in an afferent nature, um, induced by NCL. So basically, what it's saying here is that think of it like kind of like a stop motion picture, right? It's not that like I moved the disc and then it fell in. It's like and then the sodium the sodium enters, right? So that's why it requires constantly changing stimuli. Um, think of the Meissner's corpuscle as kind of like a picture. Right? So we have structure, function, and so that's kind of like how we determine the location through kind of like that cognitive process. So it's just something you have to memorize. Papillary dermis. That's where it is.